Here we go. Welcome to my WWE Clash of Champions. It was originally called Night of Champions. I ended up messing up myself because I thought it was gonna be called Night of Champions, but it was the old original name for this event and what it used to be called, because I've been watching the show for quite some time. But now it's been they changed it, and now that most of these events are not even the same anymore. With some of the original events that used to be a part of the show for these pay-per-views. For the show is a lot different now, with different names and just replacements and just matches that used to be held at WrestleMania, like the Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank match is now an event now. So lots of different changes. But this is Clash of Champions. I'm going to recap all the matches that went through. We just basically went down and we had some match changes I'm going to talk about really quickly. But I'm still going to have the matches even though some of them were canceled. Part of that was the original matches that was set for tonight for Clash of Champions. I'm still going to have that listed in the description. And anyone with like I don't know if no one has asked, but just anyone with what you see with like a check mark with next to your name, those are the winners of tonight's matches. And you guys can check it out if you want to. They had some really good matches, and it was a decent event for what I watched for tonight. And I'm curious to see what happens next, and I have a couple things I'm going to really talk about what I think is going to probably happen for the next event for next month, for the upcoming pay-per-view, I'll say. So let's get into the breaking news that they talked about in the Kickoff show, because I don't know if anyone watches the Kickoff show or the Kickoff previews where they talk about all the matches that's going to be scheduled for tonight in the build-up. So I think tonight was one of those moments where you wanted to check it out, because you'll notice that some of the matches were very different and some things were missing on the match card. So just to get it started, we have they mentioned that during the Kickoff panel that Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Nikki Cross were not going to be here tonight because just an unknown reason. So all they just threw out there was that they're not medically cleared to compete, and it only makes you think that maybe it could be something due to the outbreak. And the other thing, just excluding Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler's case, I don't know what the story is. They didn't really talk about it. It's as if they're hiding it. I don't know if they're scared to just talk about it, or they're just not going to just really try to get into it and just try to get all the details. Maybe within tomorrow we'll probably find out. Maybe we'll see them tomorrow, possibly for Monday Night Raw. It's a lot of things that could be the case, but I don't want to spend too long talking about it. But Nikki Cross didn't make it to Friday Night SmackDown. She was nowhere to be seen. No one else saw her. She didn't compete in a match or anything like that. She didn't even get a spotlight because she had a championship match tonight against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So that didn't go down. So other stuff ended up happening, which I'm going to get ready to talk about. But we don't even know what's going on with her. So she's been missing since I guess from last week. That was the last time we originally saw her from the show. But I don't know. I just hope that they're okay. I hope it's nothing too serious. And I don't know if they sustained any injuries. So that's why that's also just eliminates that. None of them, the three of the ladies, didn't get hurt. So they probably must have gotten sick or something like that. So hopefully everything will be okay going forward. So I'm sure they'll probably tell us later on down the road or eventually at some point. But I just wanted to throw that out there, so because some of these matches, like that Raw Tag Team matches, the Raw Tag Team championships themselves, or the champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, didn't even get a chance to defend their titles in the tag team match against the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. But that was basically the news I wanted to just talk about for a few minutes. But let's get into the only kickoff match that was scheduled was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship being defended by Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. And I already knew these guys were going to win. So I just keep on saying it. Yeah, I knew these guys were going to win and be the Lucha House Party, which consists of Kalisto, Gran, Metalik, and Lince, Dorado. But it seems like they're having a fallout. It seems like they're going to end up splitting the Lucha Party up at some point, and they'll probably end up facing each other. But these guys are really good. The luchadors are some of the best luchadors in the ring. It's always fun to watch them anyway, even though they did lose. and Cesaro and Shinsuke is going to still remain the SmackDown Tag Team Champions from this one and only kickoff match. And every kickoff only consists of one match leading on to the main show. So that way it gives you something to watch leading into the main show before they get into all the main matches that goes on. So now it's time for the main show. Let's talk about the everything else that went down for the rest of the event. So this is the official event that starts off and kicks off with everything that goes on. So this is the match I was looking forward to most. And I think this was the best match of the show that stole the show. The first match of the show stole the show. Or just it steals the event. Well, is the best of the event for Clash of Champions. It was the Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Jeff Hardy defending his championship in a ladder match against AJ Styles and a returning surprise out of nowhere Sami Zayn that we didn't even see coming from the last 2 weeks. I think he came back 2 weeks ago to return, because he never lost his Intercontinental Championship. It was if you guys don't know the story, he just didn't feel comfortable competing because of the outbreak situations. So see how the ladies are in that kind of situation, which I think is going on. I'm not sure if it's true, but can't really blame him for feeling like that and just didn't want to endanger his family or anything like that. So he ended up winning the match. He has the Intercontinental Champion. He's the new Intercontinental Champion, the one that never really lost the title anyway in the first place when he already had it. So he just wasn't there. So they just gave it to someone that was already there. I won't say gave it to him, but they just had someone that was already available to compete and just have him just get his redemption run for Jeff Hardy. But now that's over now. So it looks like this match was just amazing. Just some of the stunts that I just listed it. The Swanton Bomb off the ladder match, the off the ladder onto Sami Zayn. It was a little scary because when they do stuff like that and just with everything that's going on, it's very dangerous to even try to attempt to do that. But it's awesome that they still continue to put these stunts on to put on the show even without a crowd. I know it's the Thunderdome, but it's a lot different now with no crowds and everything like that, and people just being able to watch at their homes worldwide, to watch the show live and just enjoy it. So I just think this match was the best match of the show. So if you're not going to watch anything else, and if you're looking for something to watch from this event, definitely watch this first match. And I'm glad it kicked off the show with this. I didn't think this was going to be the match to start off the show in the first place. It was just really good. But Sami Zayn got a little tactical, used his wits and to bring handcuffs to try to cheat his way to victory. So I don't want to say he cheated, but he used it. There's no rules in the ladder match, so he was able to handcuff Jeff Hardy, Jeff Hardy's ear to the ladder, and then AJ Styles handcuffed to a different ladder, and then he was able to take advantage and finally climb up to the ladder and just take the titles. But it was a lot more different stunts that you guys can check out. So I don't want to spoil too much, but it's definitely worth the watch. And that was my favorite match of the night for sure. But let's get on to the next one. But this wasn't really a match, but just as you know, every title is supposed to be defended. R-Truth ended up losing his title, the 24/7 title, against Drew Gulak, who was just lurking in the back locker room, just warming up, and he just so happened to run into him and encounter him during a backstage promo, and he ended up just getting a surprise pin on him out of nowhere. But later on after a couple of matches, but I'm just going to talk about it now since this is the current championship I'm talking about now. The 24/7 championship R-Truth ended up getting his championship right back by surprising Drew Gulak with a surprise attack to retain his championship. But I think I like the title on R-Truth, and Drew Gulak deserves to be in more matches and be on the show because he's definitely capable of his in-ring ability. So hopefully they don't just keep him in the backstage for too long. So let's get into the next match. Anyway, it wasn't a match, but it was just something concerning that particular title. So we had the Raw Women's Championship. I knew this wasn't going to last that long. Raw Women's Championship being defended by Asuka taking on Zelina Vega. So now she's back. Now they're having her compete in the ring. She's pretty good, and nothing to just not give her any credit. She's pretty good, but I just knew this match wasn't going to go that long. You could tell that they wanted to give her some kind of offense, because if they didn't, the writers didn't want to, this match could have ended in less than 5 minutes. So I think I see a rematch down the line. She has some potential, but I don't see her as a champion. I hate to say it. Zelina Vegas probably won't ever be. I don't want to say she won't ever be a title champion. Anybody can be a champion unless the writers decide to give them a push. But I don't see her really getting that, being a competitor for the title or just winning a championship at that. But once Asuka tried to shake her hand after the match, she ended up attacking her again. So maybe she'll want another rematch. Maybe she'll want a stipulation or something like that. But I don't know. I'm just curious who else is going to challenge Asuka now at this rate, and who's going to be the next challenger to try to take her belt. But if anything, I see her probably holding the title for a while. But that was that match. We're going to get on to the next. We're going to talk about the United States Championship with Bobby Lashley defending his title against Apollo Crews. Apollo! when he comes out with his entrance. But sadly, Apollo Crews didn't win the match. So Bobby Lashley ended up retaining. And I said this already I think it was the last event from before. But that's going to be it for his title reign. Apollo Crews is not going to get another. I'll say he probably might get another championship. What's up with Ricochet? How come they not giving him a championship opportunity? But then they're having him lose. So just someone, it's just got to go there. The NXT, he's an NXT talented competitor coming off of the NXT from the Wednesday nights, coming over to Raw. And they're just not using him correctly. So they're just having it in the back. He's not even on the show that much. The one and only Ricochet is not really competing. And then they have people like Apollo Crews who wins the United States Championship, and then he just loses it, and then once you think he's going to get it back, he doesn't. So I think the Hurt Business is gonna be on their way to getting most of the gold, or if not trying to get all the gold that they possibly can. But Apollo Crews is not going to get a chance. He's not going to get another shot. I don't think he's going to be a champion again. I was going to say he's not going to be a championship again. He's not going to get a championship again. I don't think he's going to get another title for some time, unless he magically finds his way to the Intercontinental Championship. But that's on SmackDown. But that's the end of that. So I'm just curious what they're going to do now with him now. It's just, at that rate, that United States Championship is going to stay with the Hurt Business for quite some time. But let's get on to the next championship. Raw Tag Team Championship being defended the Street Profits. This ended just is so weird. It's as if the ref made a bad call. It wasn't a 3 count. I don't even know they're the official winners. I think this is going to be a redo. The rematch might take place tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Just throwing it out there, even though they already retained. I already picked the Street Profits to retain. They're really good champions and just entertaining. I like both teams, Andrade and Angel Garza. Lots of good talent. But this just ended in just such a controversial way. Because the ref, is as if he covered him. Well, I think it was Dawkins that covered Andrade. And during the cover, he had his arms basically down, but he was able to kick out. But the referee still counted to 3 when he already had kicked out. So I think that was purposely written, scripted to have that happen. So I think they're going to probably get a rematch. Maybe they'll end up beating them. But I don't want them to drop the titles right now. I still see Angel Garza and Andrade having a split up. They'll split up and fall apart and just end up fighting each other sometime down the line. I still see that happening. So that was the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Just the whole quick recap of everything that happened. SmackDown's Women's Championship, that was canceled. It was canceled. Bayley taking on Nikki Cross, but they ended up coming out with a replacement. Asuka ended up coming out to try to compete and try to get 2 belts. So it's like they didn't have anybody else, a challenger. They didn't have any sort of challenger, a worthy challenger to take on Bayley with all those competitors back there. So Asuka, I'm not upset with this because Asuka could have been a double champion, but Bayley got out and she managed to escape because she just used the chair. She used a chair to hit Asuka to just automatically get herself disqualified so she can just keep her championship. Just in fear that she was about to get ready to lose. But by surprise, Sasha returns, but she's still injured, but she still managed to get a couple licks in because as vengeance. But now I think maybe at the next pay-per-view, Sasha Banks is going to be fully recovered, and be ready to challenge Bayley, unless somebody else does challenge her at some point, for at least for that event, and maybe at the next event she'll probably challenge her if she's recovered properly from her neck. But she got her revenge, and then we're just going to wrap up with the last two matches of the show. And I'm just going to throw this right now and just talk about it real quick. There was no, just to repeat, there was no women's tag team match for the Raw women's. I was going to say the Raw women's tag team match, but the women's tag team championship could be dependent on all three shows. So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan was canceled. So I just had that still listed here. So they were originally supposed to be there. That would have been the other match before the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship for sure. But since that match is canceled for the women's tag team titles, it was the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton going one-on-one. But it wasn't just a regular match. This was the ambulance match. I think this was the second best match of the night, or at least my second favorite, next to the Intercontinental Championship match. So with this match, Big Show ended up returning. All the legends that Randy Orton ever attacked ended up getting involved. I don't want to say all of them, because Edge was the only one that was the missing link. And it started with Big Show getting involved, and then Christian getting involved, and then my favorite one, when HBK was on top of the ambulance and he super kicked Randy Orton on top of the ambulance, and then he pushed him off the ambulance and onto the table. So I think that was pretty cool. I was gonna say Ric Flair did a move, but he didn't. He just ended up being the driver for the ambulance. So I guess that was pretty cool to see. And I was expecting to see Edge, but he was the only one who didn't show up. But I guess he's still recovering. So I don't think he should come back. It's too dangerous for him, and very risky. Especially he just comes back, and then all the injuries he sustained just within that short period of time. Last man standing, and the best wrestling match. It was just too much for him. But this was really good. But those are just the highlights I wanted to really share from this match. Basically all the legends, most of the legends that he attacked and put on the shelf and did the punt on, or he punted. Randy Orton just punted before the event and stuff like that. They came back to get involved to get revenge on Randy Orton. But that Claymore, I just couldn't imagine how that Claymore would have been if he did the Claymore kick onto the ambulance door that was open. So that was really scary. But it was blood. It was a little bit bloody and a little bit just brutal. Just really one of the best matches. I think I would recommend this match as well. But Drew McIntyre ended up retaining, and I'm gonna just throw this out there now. I think Keith Lee is gonna probably be his next opponent, and he'll end up taking the title away from him. But I don't know if they're gonna give him that title too early. But his jaw is messed up. Drew McIntyre's jaw is still injured, so maybe Keith Lee will be the one that'll end up challenging him for the championship, unless somebody else wants to challenge him by surprise. I don't know. Maybe Brock Lesnar might come back. I just threw that out there. I don't think he will, but I think the next opponent is probably going to be Keith Lee, because he'll probably want a shot at the championship. That was that match, and then the main event. I don't even want to really get into it. The Universal Championship, Roman Reigns taking on Jey Uso in a one-on-one match, and just cousin versus cousin, and as if everyone out there knows, and you still watch the show, Roman Reigns is going to easily win this match. It's obviously going to win the match. Anyway, he just had the title, he just got it back, and Jey Uso finally being a singles competitor when he's was always originally a tag team, competing in the tag team division. So not to discredit him, but they're not gonna give him the title, Jey Uso. It'll be cool to see him hold it, because he can. Everybody. I'll say this: everybody that's in the tag team division can be a singles competitor, and they can hold their own weight and carry their own weight. But I think just people like Jey is gonna just probably be stuck in the tag team division, because they're not gonna really give him that push. I don't even think they'll even push Jey Uso as far as that, but they just had to get somebody to compete for the title. and I originally thought Matt Riddle would probably end up winning, but that was it. He ended up retaining, and he ended up trying to get him to bow down to him and just try to just acknowledge him. Roman Reigns was trying to just keep asking Jay to acknowledge him and just throw in the towel and give up and just regret even trying to challenge him in the first place. But Jimmy Uso basically threw in the towel for him to make him forfeit because he just kept attacking him over and over and over. So that was basically the main event. I was expecting The Fiend to come out. No, nothing as far as that. But I think that's gonna be my next prediction. That was just basically the main event. He already wanted to retain this title and won by forfeit. And I thought he already speared him twice, and I thought he was gonna pin him, but it just wasn't enough for him to put him away. But I just hope The Fiend gets the title back. And now that I see the changes with Alexa Bliss, I see her probably gonna fight. I see her finding a way to help to deliver The Fiend the Universal Championship and help him win. And now that he's able to possess her from the show from this past Friday night, you can really see the changes within her. And I'm just really excited for that. I think that's the most exciting storyline I really want to see. The most exciting character change, to see what they do with her, what role she's going to play in the Firefly Funhouse, what else is she going to be able to do for Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, and maybe she's going to be Sister Abigail. And that's what I already predicted from last time when they did the little promo backstage with her hair being different and her sudden rage out of nowhere and just lashing out at Nikki Cross, and even her performing the Sister Abigail as one of her finishers. So it's just a sign. So I'm just hoping that'll be something that really comes into play and allows The Fiend to get the title back, because Roman Reigns has already been in a championship. They threw enough dirt on The Fiend's name. He's one of my favorites. I'm just gonna say it. He's the best character that's going for both shows. The best character that's well made. He writes his own scripts. It's very creative, and I just don't want them to kill off The Fiend and just not make him dominant. I think he should be the one that he shouldn't even never really lost the title in the first place against Goldberg. And I already talked about this, but it's already bad enough. So let me know what you guys think about the event and all that. But that's just all I got to really say about that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully for the next event we get to see Bliss and The Fiend maybe in the cell against Roman Reigns. We'll see how that all plays out. But it's up to the writers to see what else they're gonna do. But hope you guys enjoyed the event. But I definitely recommend those two matches for sure. The Intercontinental match was just the match of the night for me.